Hello, everyone. This is Jay Wicker with Real Estate Aholics. And as you guys can see, I got a couple of great co-hosts with us. We start from the top to the bottom. Jerell, tell me a little bit about you, where
How
you
you
logged in
guys?
from.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing, Mr. J and Mr. Cody? How you
Hey,
guys doing today?
Doing great.
Great. Well, it's Jerell here from Atlanta. I do hard money loans, brokering hard money loans for any investor out there looking to do any fix and flips or refinances on their current investment properties, buying commercial properties. Anything that's dealing with anything residential where someone will stay, holler at your boy for any tips or a great loan that will facilitate your purchase and your renovations. So yeah, hit me up at that email below at bpiquickloans@gmail.com and find me definitely on here every Wednesday.
Absolutely. And he's very knowledgeable, guys. Very knowledgeable. All
Let's
right.
go.
So let's jump into this SJ. What's up, SJ? How you doing, brother?
what's going on? What's going on, everybody?
Happy
Hey,
great
man.
day to be alive,
What's
man.
going on, man?
Yeah. Got last week I had my wisdom tooth pulled, so I wasn't in the right mind to come on here. But I'm right now. I'm right
Yeah,
now. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, absolutely. So tell me what you do, where you logging in from, all that good stuff.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is Sean Jones from SNJ Property Group. I am a wholesaler. I wholesale real estate out in New Jersey and Alabama. I also teach wholesaling real estate to people who are new to this arena. Let them know that wholesaling real estate is the gateway to other real estate possibilities. I do it. I am an investor as well, so I have investment properties here in New Jersey, and I used or I leveraged the strategy of wholesaling real estate and the capital to be able to do it. So yeah, man, I'm here. I'm here to any questions you have, anything. I'm here to be able to provide my value, and I appreciate my brother over there allowing me to have a voice. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
listen. Hey, and he's very knowledgeable. Go to his channel. You see what he got going on over there. He's very busy too, man. So salute to you guys, man.
Yeah,
Cody Cox, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Yes, this is Cody Cox. I am a fund manager with Bridge City Factors. We're a little different because we invest in real estate notes. So I don't invest in the real estate property itself. I invest in the paper that is secured by the real estate. I do that not only in my self-directed IRAs, I also do some consultings in fund management or note management for other people, but I also am the fund manager for a Regulation D 506B fund. We're registered with the Securities Exchange Commission, and I've raised some capital from investors. We've used that capital to purchase notes to put in our portfolio, and the payments that the borrowers make, we return back to the investors who have invested with us and keep a little slice of that for ourselves as fund managers. So little different flip of the coin than investing directly with the real estate. It's I buy paper, I buy files, and so it's a little different spin. But I also have a full-time day job where I'm actually running a mortgage company for state government here in the state of Oregon. And so I deal a lot with title companies and escrows and things like that. So I've got over 40 years in the mortgage industry and, it's like I tell my kids, I was born at night, but not last night.
Mhm.
So we'll kick this thing off. Let me give a quick shout out to my guy Anthony Andre Worthy. He has a clothing store in Lansing, Michigan. So you need a suit, you need things for graduation. He can help you out, man. Tell him Real Estate Aholic sent you. Salute to you, Anthony, bro.
Right.
Andre, I'm sorry, Andre. I'm sorry about that. Well, listen, man. So we're gonna talk a little bit about, man, something I think we all a place we all gotta kind of take our business through, right? So
Mhm.
Right.
even you, Cody, right? You got to continue to see your business through the title company, right?
In certain situations, I absolutely do. Yes.
Okay. So I think it's very important, man, that we understand, what is a title company, how this thing works, because not all title companies deal with wholesalers. Not all. Some of them don't want to deal with us at all. Some of them, love us, right? That's how they pay their bills, right?
Yes.
And if they're smart, they will work with us because we the one closing the deals like that. So gonna jump right into this thing, man. Um, who? Let's go off the top of the head, man. Who are you guys' number one title company? Let's give them a shout out if you've been
Right
working
now,
with these guys.
my title company is Crane Title out in Mobile, Alabama.
Crane Title. Salute to
Crane
Crane Title.
Yeah, Crane Title is one of my guys. And in Jersey, is Deco. Decal. Decal Title. So those are the two that I deal with. And man, a title company is very essential in the wholesaling space.
Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely critical. And if you get a right one, that is investor friendly or whatever the case may be, you could be able to, break bread with them in a way that other wholesalers aren't doing, which means that, sometimes people just lean on the title company to do transactions. Yes, but they are your go-to for buyers. So it's just like, you just got to have you got to think creatively and, not only that, but you got to be able to gel well with with the title companies. Like I have a good relationship with my title companies because I know if I need a buyer, they'll give me one.
Hey, people sleep on title companies when it comes to them buyers, man. But think about it. If you're a buyer, you're going to go through a title company, right? So we're going to give some tips on how to go about getting that done, man. I think you let the cat out the bag.
Oh, I did. Oh, my bad.
No, it's all good. You own it, bro. You own it.
Hey,
You own it.
My shout out goes definitely out to Nancy Wasden at Wasden Closing Attorneys. They are absolutely some go-getters for investors. Anyone in Georgia, definitely look up Wasden Group. I would get the correct name, but the owner is Nancy Wasden. Like you can get close, like you said, with closing attorneys and making sure that you come priority, getting your closings scheduled quickly and efficient time for everybody, going above and beyond, mobile notaries and signings, all that jazz. Like they are the last stop before you go and cash that check. They are the people who write your check, actually.
Huge, man. Huge.
Very
what
important.
About you? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What about you, Cody?
Well, so when you're buying notes, and as what I do, I'm buying existing notes. So there's already a title policy in the package that I'm buying. But oftentimes, if you're buying, especially when you're buying seller finance type notes, that seller may rehab the property, borrow money from another company, and they place a lien against the title. So, there's two aspects to that. There's the title part of it, and then there's the escrow part of it. Out here on the West Coast, those companies are generally the same. We don't have separate title attorneys as there are in most of the other parts of the country. But what I need to do if I'm buying a seller finance note and there is still an underlying lien on that property, I use the title company to wire money to them to make sure that underlying title, that underlying lien on the property gets cleared. And then I get a reissue of the title policy that shows that being cleared. And so in that instance, we use it kind of after the fact because there's already an existing title company on the package that I'm buying. So we don't often get the right to select a title company or an escrow company unless we've taken that property back through a foreclosure or a deed in lieu of foreclosure, and we're reselling that property out. And in those situations, I'm usually listing it with a local real estate agent, and they have their contacts, obviously looking for a short-term reissue rate to get some sort of a discount or at least an investor's rate. But that's how I generally use those. It's not so much in securing something because there's a title transfer, but there is a note transfer or an endorsement to the note with an assignment of mortgage. So it's a little different, again, a little different aspect when you're dealing with notes.
Absolutely. And so one of the title companies we use is Chicago Title here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, man. Very, it's how you run across that title company, man. You just send your paper over to them and everything's taken care of. That's what we go through now, But if you ever been on the other side of that and you're dealing with a title company that don't know what they're doing, it can destroy your deal.
Yes.
It can destroy. I've had it happen.
Yes.
I've had it happen, man. It's like reached out to one title company in Michigan. I can't remember the name of the title company. I'll put him on blast, but called him up. I had never worked with him before. Said, yes, we definitely do. We definitely work with wholesalers. We do this. I'm cool. Sent everything over to him. And the only thing about it, it had to be done quickly. I couldn't date it out 30 days or whatever the case is. Had to be knocked out quickly. Probably 2 days or so before ready to close. Somebody called me back. Hey man, we don't do assignment agreements. We don't deal with this and do the deal.
Wow.
At the last second, right? So of course the seller's mad at me. You got the investor that's mad at me. You know what I'm saying? And I was JVing this deal with one of my students at the time. He probably was mad at me too, But I'm like, so now I'm left holding the bag, man. So again, when you get ready, you get your title company, or you want to work with somebody, that work for a title company, whatever. It's important that you drill them to make sure they know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
you need to ask them some questions.
Yeah. It's like a relationship. It's like a relationship.
Absolutely.
You're dating somebody. You got to make sure that you are compatible, that their core values match with yours. You know what I'm saying? It's all a relationship game. And one thing I like about the diversity of this panel is that even if, Cody does notes and, Jerell does, mortgages and lends money. It's all that the stream of consciousness is one and the same, which is real estate. It's just all branches. Like that's how vast, that's how much opportunities are on this one tree. There's so many branches of the same thing. I mean, even if Cody's doing that, it's still real estate. If Jay is doing that, it's still real estate. If Jerell is doing this, it's still real estate.
Commercial. I'm doing commercial, so it's still real estate.
It's still real estate. So again, I like the diversity of what we got going on here, and title. Even though we have different positions, we still got to mix and mingle with title. Doesn't matter.
Facts. So true. So here's the question then. The question is, so what is a title company, and what do they do? So let me read out the kind of the definition, and we just kind of dive into this thing, man. So a title company may help protect you from your past ownership conflict with homes or real estate property. The title company verifies that the seller has the legal right to sell the property to buyers. A title company issues policies called title insurance that protect homeowners and lenders from conflict like title claim that may arise from property previously owned. Right? So the title company doesn't work for me, it doesn't work for them. Right? It serves as a person that stands in between to make sure everything that we agree upon is satisfied on both sides. Right? So let's kind of chop that up a little bit. So what is the title? I already kind of said it, but what is the title company, and what do they do?
So one of the things I've always said about title companies, it's the only type of insurance that you can get that insures something that happened in the past. Everything else, every other type of insurance, whether it be auto insurance, homeowner insurance, any kind of insurance, happens on something that could happen in the future. So that's one way to balance that out of what a title company does.
Wow. I'd never thought about it like that, but that is so true.
That's true. Yeah.
So they go back, maybe 60 years or something like that?
Well, it could depend on how long the title chain is and, all the things that are involved there. And so it's an interesting thing to think about, because title insurance or any sort of insurance has to deal with risk. So risk in the future or risk in the past. Yeah. So and if you look at a title policy or even a preliminary title policy, all the conditions or exceptions that are part of that. We'll insure this except for this, except for this, or except for this. So there's items that need to be cleared and off that title policy or off that preliminary title policy before they'll actually issue the final policy. And so that's what it does for us in the note business. We're looking at things on that are affecting title that may impair our title holding when it does actually transfer title from either into my name or from me into another person's name. And we're looking for those items that need to be cleared off title to give us a pure type of insurance.
I just came back. Are you guys talking about exceptions?
I mentioned that briefly, Jerell. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What is a title company and what do they do?
Yeah. So basically, I'm sure Cody, you went through it in good explanation. So just a brief summary, basically, just make sure that anything that's lingering on the properties, claims, anything like that um, are brought to light during your purchase or transfer of title. So those things could even be rectified if needed to be by being paid or assumed if that is the buyer's choice in certain cases, of course. Um, and they basically deal with, make sure you have title insurance so those type of things don't affect you entity or personally wise. There's things called, I said this before in another podcast we had, title insurance, working with, they will have that put together for you normally. So just speak with them about that in particularly, and make sure that you attend the closing. That's basically
I think when I think about title companies, they are the bridge between the buyer and the seller, right?
Mhm.
They are that bridge, and
Yeah.
sometimes you may need to be able to help them in that bridge. Sometimes you have me in that communication. I, always tell my title companies anything that I can do. Is there anything? Most of the one in Crane Title, he was like, "Yo, I got it. Don't worry about it. Go on to the next one. We got this one." They
Mm.
may have those that are like that, but then you have those that may need you to reach out to the seller because they can't get in contact. Now, mind you, the title is the most important for you to get that check. So it will behoove you to help out in that process if need
Facts.
be. Okay. So
Facts.
that means, if the title company can't get in contact with the seller, you may want to say, okay, let me reach out and let them know that you're reaching out to them. So you want to try to, be a help in that manner because, again, this will help move the process along in a seamless way. But again, title companies are there as a bridge between the buyer and the seller to make sure that all administrative tasks, whether it be judgments, liens, whatever it may be, it's resolved so that it can move forward.
Facts. Hey, that's right on point, man. It's important to work along with them, right? It's important to do that. When I put together a deal, when I get ready to send, I send everything over to the title company. I also send a quick email attached to it with everybody's information on it. Here's the buyer's information, email address, and everything. Here's another number that person said to contact if they get in contact with this way. I give them everything that they need. Here's my information. Here's the stuff. So we send it over to them and say, hey, you got any question, if anything changed, you need me to do whatever it is, please don't hesitate to call me, right? Because I
Yeah.
want to make sure I'm still the tied to this deal. No matter how busy I am, I know this deal is not a deal yet until it actually, or it's not a closed deal until it actually closed, right? So we
Mhm.
don't want a deal to get to the title company and then all of a sudden it runs out of gas because we didn't get back with them in a timely manner.
Yeah,
You know?
they can find you. Yeah, definitely get your title requesting early. A lot of buyers buying properties with cash don't really pay too much attention to the title report. There could be water liens on there. It has to be paid, and it's going to come up. It should come up typically in a normal transaction with a closing attorney. Anything that needs to be paid to the county, to taxes or whatnot, that typically should come up. But it's definitely a wrench when there's nothing. It's not spoken about until the 11th hour of going into closing in 2 or 3 days. So having that title request search put in early on in your due diligence while under contract with the property, both definitely useful. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think we kind of really touched on how important the title company is. So let's do these numbers, right? How many properties you think was sold? Well, what's the percentage of the properties that sold in the U.S. go to a title company roughly? What would you say?
Hmm.
What would you guys say? I ain't looked the numbers up, so I'm not trying to trick you or nothing. But how many you say? What's the percentage of people properties that's closed go to a title company roughly?
I would
Would you
say
say 90%?
99.
I would say
99%.
99 because that's
99%.
who records your title. the county. I don't know any other way. I don't like to speak on all be all, but shoot.
Well,
I didn't know a closing attorney would close on Saturday until I asked.
right.
That's true. That's true. That's true. You got closing attorneys out there too. That's so
Right.
true.
That's what I was gonna say is that there's title stakes and there's attorney stakes, right?
Yeah, I'm an attorney state. Yeah.
Right. So you may have a closing attorney as opposed to a title company, right? So
Yep.
again, it's very likely. Well, my state is title. I'm a title state, and Atlanta's a title. I mean, Alabama's a title state too. So it just depends on the state. But it's
Yeah, we should
still,
have hit on that beforehand, though, Sean. That
huh?
there's a difference. That all states don't have like a title agent, and
Right. Right.
we should have hit on that a long time ago. Because
Right.
sometimes in certain states you have a real estate attorney working in concert with
Facts.
a title agent.
Yep.
So in my state, I'm sorry to cut you off, but we definitely need to backtrack on that for anybody crossing the lines, because I just realized unless you guys did when I stepped away.
No.
Okay. All right. So like Atlanta, like you said, Georgia is a closing attorney. Alabama is a title agent. So basically, from my knowledge, the closing attorney in my state does everything that a title agency does.
Correct.
Basically, short and long. And then in a title agent state, there's a title agent does certain roles about the title search and everything dealing with title, and the closing attorney, your real estate attorney, does everything with like contracts. How they work together, I'm not typically on those phone calls, so maybe you guys can chime in together. Chime in.
Well,
on that.
most companies have closing attorneys involved in them.
Okay.
A lot of them have closing attorneys, and it's in the same office.
Gotcha.
But most of the time, they do everything. They have everything there. There's nothing that they have to, outsource. Everything's probably in-house, right? So yeah, there's closing.
Yeah, but I definitely work with certain states and transactions where they weren't, where like it definitely wasn't the same entity or the same company at all. Like it's all like, I guess it's how they want to do it, how they want to slice the pie, join or don't join, it's just not saying it's impossible, but definitely there's two separate, professionals in a title state, and then the closing attorney states, you will be dealing with the closing attorney.
Here's one thing that's important that I want to mention too, is that, and some new wholesalers or people involved in the investing arena believe that when you send something to title to close, you're not the only one. Title companies, that all they do is closings. So it's so critical to be on top of your you gotta be, because again, they do 100 to a day maybe. So you may be on the bottom of the bet, so it's very important to just check in. Hey, what's going on? How did the title come back yet? Things of that nature. No, ask those questions, because again, you leaving it to them, they have so much that they do. All they do is closings, right? So you want to make sure that you're at least, visible, that they see that you are really aggressive in the process.
Mainly because typically dead deals are quiet deals. Typically, that's the numbers they look at. Like if I'm not hearing from this buyer, the seller, after requesting things for a couple days, I'm not going to chase them for days and days, asking them to send in their articles of organization for their closing, or any other documentation. So definitely be involved, especially you realtors out there.
Yeah.
So Jay, let me just add something here, because your original question was like, what's the percentage of transactions that use title insurance? And I think it's less than what we would think. And for this reason, for a couple of reasons. One is there's a lot of private sales that go on between people that, don't know that they need title insurance. And I see it fairly frequently where, father's selling the house to his son, or a piece of property to his son, and they just execute a deed. They run down to the recorder's office and have it recorded. There's no title insurance on anything like that. The other thing I see from time to time is that when a county does a tax foreclosure on a house, and then they resell that house to somebody else, the county's not going to request a title policy. They're not going to pay for a title policy. So there's a transaction that occurs when there is no title policy issued on that. And sometimes the people who buy that property have trouble reselling it because there's no existing title policy on it. And so there's probably a lot more transactions that go on out there that are just, either by people who just don't know better, or they're a private family situation, or there's some sort of municipality or county entity involved, that there's a deed that records that transfers title, but there's no associated title policy that gets issued at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of people like.
Yeah, I definitely can see that. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's so true. But there's still that number is pretty high that would go through a title company.
Yeah, what was the number you have? What was the number?
You said 99.
99. We had a person just reach out to us. He said it was 97. I think he said.
97.
He said 97.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty high. I would say with the new information, because I forgot about it. We have done a couple deals like that. So I would say like 90, 95, 90, about 5%.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Go that route or whatever.
And to me, the interesting question is if there's 95, 97, 99% of the transactions have title insurance issued on that, how many times are you aware of an actual claim, a title insurance claim being executed? I mean, how often does that happen?
I've never heard of one actually come back and say they were wrong about the title, the liens that need to be cleared off and that weren't taken care of, or exceptions that need to be. I not to my knowledge, but like I said, the end all be all. So, how many of you guys heard of any point?
I've heard it, but I'm pretty sure it happens though.
Yeah, it has to happen. Yeah. It's like that's why they exist, because it's the worst scenario ever. Like, you can't even imagine what.
And if they have to pay a claim, it's a pretty big dollar number too. So so that's why they have. I know of one situation that just recently happened in the position that I have during my day job. We do first mortgages, but then oftentimes there's some delinquent property taxes that occur outside the first mortgage, and then a property sale happens. And what we had was a title insurance company that issued a title policy, but they sent the payoff to the county to pay off the delinquent taxes. And in this situation, the Department of Revenue, but we did not get paid off. They didn't even request a payoff statement from us. And so our lien still exists. And so they're having to pay a title claim to pay us off because the escrow folks just messed up, didn't get a title, a payoff quote from us. And so, that's going to be like a $300,000 or $400,000 claim that they're going to have.
Wow, man.
So
I mean,
if they miss one, that's big money. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Cody, man. Yeah. So did you have issues? You had title insurance, obviously.
Correct. This was an existing loan that the agency that I work for was servicing.
So what if you didn't have title insurance? What would happen?
If there was no title insurance,
if you would have bought that property with no title insurance, what would
right? Yeah, that'd have been a problem. I would have lost it.
Exactly.
Because I have no claim. I have no claim that I have a valid lien on the property.
Exactly.
Wow. Man, listen. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of things. So if you guys get a chance to get that title insurance, man,
there's no reason not to pay.
I know the investment is got a little smaller.
I'm lagging.
Yeah, exactly. It's a small investment, man, to kind of cover your butt, man. You want to always be covering your butt. That's a lot of money, man. So you just think about the title company, man. They gotta come off. They gotta come off that money, right? That's what you're paying for. To make sure everything is right.
Yeah.
So like I said, they go back. If I'm not mistaken, I thought it was like 60 years or something like that, or whatever that is. But I definitely would do that every single time.
It's back to the time of Moses.
Yeah.
I've seen the paper. I've seen the papers though. The chain of title.
Yeah.
Man, it can get funky with the ink. You could tell it's been in existence forever.
Yeah.
It's like looking at your birth certificate times.
And that's what a title abstract, which is a little different form. That's what a title abstract would illustrate all the way back for when that
Okay.
particular property was initially platted or the legal description was recorded in some fashion.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So I hope you guys hear that, man. If you're looking to purchase a property, man, go ahead and get that RAM. It's a few $100, man, but it's definitely worth it.
And might
So
I add, working with a lender catches those issues with title.
Right. Mm-hmm.
that's true. That's true.
You know, we automatically
Facts.
catch that. I'm not the lawyer on our team that works with that, but the underwriters, they are going to catch, along with the title company, anything that you need to note about the property.
Yep.
He says, Vernon said, Blue, he said, making sure I'll always do your home on each deal is
Need
key.
some homework.
Yeah.
Yes. Do your homework.
Homework on each deal is key. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, salute to you, brother. Salute to you.
Definitely.
So let's switch this conversation a little bit, right? So
All right.
okay, so Jerell,
Mhm.
you guys signed here, and Cody and me, we all about to put in a big pile of money. We're gonna own us a title company. How do we go about doing that? Let's mine that out real quick. I know it's on the fly. Let's see if and we fly people, so we can do it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So let's put us. No, okay. He said yes. I'm sorry. No, it's all good, brother. It's all good. It's all good. So what do we do here? So what are the first steps that you guys can imagine in your head would be the first steps in owning their own title company?
I would say form a LLC, form an entity, right?
Okay.
Form an entity. I'm sure that you have to develop, or in certain areas, you have to see if you need a license, right?
True.
And figure that out.
Yeah.
It's really, I don't think it's that difficult to
Escrow fund.
You gotta have reserves and funds and all that good stuff. That's
Yeah.
Ooh.
What are we thinking as far
Large
as
degree.
money to the side? What are we thinking roughly? I mean, Cody was talking about a couple $100,000 right there. He messed around and messed up one of the policies, right? We talking about a couple $100,000. So how much we need to have a stockpile of cash ready to go? You think?
Well, I think the other big part you need to have of that is an errors and omission insurance policy yourself.
That's
Yeah.
very important.
That's really going to be the source of capital if you make a mistake, and it has to pay off. You have to cover your insurance. So the errors and omission policy is going to be the biggest deal on that.
Mhm.
You're still going to have operating capital, of course. But the other thing that's a big thing is you're setting up is you're going to have access to a title plant. Because having years and years and years of documents to be able to access that, or otherwise you're spending a lot of time, or you're hiring somebody to spend a lot of time to go into the county. And if you're trying to do multiple deals simultaneously, one person can't go into the respective county, especially if you're an area where there's multiple counties. So having access to a title plant is what's going to be indicative as well. A pretty important part of it.
Let's break that down. So you said a title plant. What do you mean by that?
Well, basically, that's kind of a repository that acts very similar to what the county records will show. Because of their longevity into the local marketplace, they are the center repository of where all these documents or access to the documents reside. Now, one thing that has developed really well in the last several years, of course, is laws that have gone into place in various states that require title companies to place their information online. And so having online access to that could work as part of what the title plant would be. But there's a lot of things that don't get recorded that still could affect title. That's why you'll notice in title policies, there's exceptions that say, things that we can't determine simply because they haven't been recorded. So those would be exceptions that are hard to remove. But having access to the repository where all the documents are for them to do the research is what's important there.
But you have, I just looked it up right here, right? So you have software too that kind of take care of a lot of that stuff as well.
Yeah.
Right? That's why we give you the documents. Of course, you want to run that by your attorney to make sure you have the right documents for the state that you are, you growing your business in. But there are title companies. I mean, there are software like this one is called. Now, I'm not promoting this one. I'm just going to let you guys know exactly what it is. So TitleRun.com. So I guess that's one. Title Plant Software.com is another one. but I guess it will have all the information that we will actually need in that situation. That's good. And I got the E&O insurance as well for my notary business as well. I think $100K on that. So, but you have to have a lot more when you talk about for a title company for sure. Yeah, a lot more risk. What you say? SJ?
To have definitely at least an attorney on our team.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
our team.
Definitely.
And I mean, to be honest with you, you know, as long as we get the right people in place, a title company or owning a title company is not that complicated. I think people make it complicated. I think if we really put our heads together, that could be done.
I agree. Listen, man. The amount of money that these title companies are making, right? So I'm a mobile notary as well. So I'm a notary signing agent as well. So I'm dealing with multiple title companies, and the numbers of closings, the closings that they have on a daily basis, it's crazy. It's crazy. So if you're making, they're making anywhere about a couple grand per deal.
It's $1,200. They make at least between $1,200 and $1,500
per
transaction.
deal.
Per transaction.
Per transaction. So imagine if you're doing that and you having in multiple cities or whatever the case is. If let's say one location, prime location, like let's say Dallas. Dallas is booming right now. It's a lot that's going on. They're making a lot of money, man. They're making a lot of money. So I think that's interesting. Interesting to do some more because I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, man, I never thought about owning a title company. Let me see what it takes to actually do that, man. And that'd be something definitely take a look at.
Yeah,
Make some money doing that.
Yeah, I would definitely want to take a look at that. I was interested in that as well, and I just didn't know the facets to it. And once you learn the components, it kind of makes it, but you got to have also a mastermind of individuals on the same page. So, yeah, I'm definitely feeling the components to it. But it also helps save you. Some your deals are going to go through in-house. It's going to be right to you. And you'll be saving instead of putting that money out. You'll be able to take those and do what you can with those, right? Also, you have the ability to be more creative because there's a lot of title companies that are strict, that don't deal with investor friendly individuals. They don't. So that's another key. So
that's one of my questions too. But go ahead, you own it, bro. No. Let me go ahead and put it up there right now, though. So what it is basically, how will we stand out in that situation? Just think about it. I may, when I'm opening into a different market, I may call maybe 10 different title companies that don't deal with wholesalers at all, right? That's a market waiting to happen. I know some people are getting away from it or whatever, or scared of it or whatever the case is. But if you're in that area that's closing those deals, all the people come to you. Yeah. There's a million wholesalers out there.
Yeah. They're born every day.
They're born every day. You just, do your part, man. Advertise that. So what can we do to stand out other than, be that wholesaler friendly or that investor friendly title company? What are some other things that we can do to say, you know what, we got to go work with these guys. These guys are killing it.
Networking is key. Go on these via meetups. Let them know, hey, you're looking to, you're having issues, but we're fresh, we're ready to go. But networking is key in any type of involvement, and let them know that we're just not a one pony show title, that one show pony, whatever they call that.
Hey,
what how they say? I messed it up. But we're just not one transactional type of deal, right? We do other things as well. We may do notes, maybe doing other things. I don't know.
Yeah, mobile notary being specializing in that would be one thing. Maybe like I don't know what's the reason why they couldn't, but if you can close on a Saturday, meetings on a Saturday, oh man,
Yeah, I've been thinking here it's all service related. I mean, as I think it was Jerell just said, it's all service related. So you have that little niche, what it's about. The networking is very important too, because you have to get your brand out there. And so, one of the things that we also want to make sure we interject is if you're going to start a company, you have to find a underwriter. somebody who is going to underwrite your title policies. And so, whether it's the First American, Chicago Title was mentioned earlier, Fidelity's a big company, Stewart Title's a big company. So finding those underwriters that are actually going to underwrite your title policy is an important step, and they're going to have certain requirements before they will become your underwriter. And that's one of the things you'll have to do is figure out what does it take, what sort of financial statement am I going to have to provide to you for you to become one of my underwriters for my title.
Yeah, that's so true. But Jerell, you said something about open on Saturday, man. Do you know if you did something like that, man, you would be the top? Think about it, man. I had a title company that I worked with on a couple of deals, right? And every time they would call me Friday night or Friday when they get ready to close, when they send me an email, hey, I need this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And so now I call them back. I can't get in contact with them no more till Monday.
It's the weekend. Yeah, no one wants to wait to the weekend to Monday to close. Man,
even if you just open it up, right? Let's say even if you open it up just to be able to answer questions or whatever the case is, right? Bro, that'd kill the game.
I think you just win with just signings.
Just
holding signings on weekends.
Yep.
On Saturday.
Because until the counties are open on a Saturday, you're not going to be able to record anything.
I mean, I don't know if they have to record that day. Can they wait the Monday?
Absolutely they can. Absolutely they can.
I thought so, because if they record, they sign all the time at 7:00 on a Friday.
Yeah.
So no one's going nowhere. So I would imagine they could. I just think no one just says, you know what, we're closing attorneys. We don't need to work on Saturdays. And just I don't really think there's anything. There's funding. Not really, because any funding institution understands that they're going to, as long as it's within 24 hours of a business days. That's a lot of lenders' parameters of the closing attorney dispersing their funds. But that will definitely not be objected, because they won't fund. Actually, you can hold it where you sign on Saturday and then they fund on Monday.
Yeah, because the wire systems are closed down over the weekend.
It's not going to go through the Tuesday anyway, no matter what. Yeah.
I was thinking too. What if you next Monday? I was doing my meetup right on every second Saturday of the month. But I got a lot of stuff going on Saturdays now, so I push it to Mondays, right? So what if we have where we teaching people how to submit their deals? Right? When you sit down, because that's a lot of wholesalers have a problem with that. And what am I supposed to do now, right? Or not, man, what am I supposed to do now? Whatever. So you just sit up an hour where you get on there and you say, look, so in order to submit a deal over to us, this is what you must do. Here's the steps that you must take to get this thing done. And maybe just put it on YouTube or whatever the case is, and send video, however you want to do that, but you just want to make sure that you have that impression on these people, right?
Well, a lot of the things that Jerell was saying was correct. I think it's living outside of obscurity.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of these title companies are they hide behind the veil.
They're like this.
They
fit in their box, bro. That's it. They don't do nothing.
That, or we even deal in this situation, you would have to go to an investor to let them know what title company do you use, blah, blah, blah. So they live in obscurity, right? So if we, like Jerell says, listen, we do Saturdays.
That kills it, man. That kills the deal, bro. I'm telling you.
It's the branding and the networking. That's it.
Every realtor will be coming to you because they have the open houses. There's a lot going on Saturday, right? And they know they can go to you, and when they get done or whatever they got to do, they come to you and get it done.
Yeah, almost everybody's free on a Saturday.
Everybody, yeah, man. You got to take a day off to close that deal. We do mobile closings. Come on, man. Come on, bro. That kills it. Oh. That kills it. That might be a good deal. Maybe be a good thing we can do, man. So that may be off the chain, yeah. All right, so.
Like insurance premiums on for a company like that, I have your bag ready. You're not gonna be paying $500 a month.
No. That's why I say you need to have your stockpile, your little some money to the side or whatever, till you get the business up to where it needs to be, right? And then you good to go. That's it's gonna cost you a pretty penny.
So Jay, real quick, what do you think the cost would be out front startup capital?
If I was going to throw a number,
Wow.
Let's
At
go through a
least.
number seriously that will pay for all the surfing.
Roughly, yeah.
At least $250,000.
Damn.
I would say, wow, you said $250,000. $250,000 is safe. You safe with a $250,000.
Of course, $250,000
right?
is going to get you going and
Yeah.
and flowing for a few months. You know, I'm not saying like that's just boom, but
Yeah.
To,
But the people we gotta hire, right? You gotta hire. You know, you gotta get the brick and mortar, or whatever the case is. So we gotta hire somebody. We gotta get some underwriters together. We want to get decent underwriters, right? That's important. Like, matter
Cody
of fact, that's
said,
the
the
next one.
heirs insurance is the big is
Yeah.
pretty much that. You know, I can imagine that's their hefty big bill alongside with their, you know, if not leading on their all their other expenses, you know. But it's worth it, of course, because like you said, they're doing about $1,200 per deal and doing shit. I've heard them doing about 60 to 80 in a day. Like, that's amazing.
People coming and going like Starbucks, man. You know how Starbucks is nowadays, man. I live by Starbucks, man, and I swear they doing something illegal in that place, man. I mean, from the time they open up to the time they close down, it's like this, constantly throwing through the drive-through, man. You know, so but that's how it is a title company. When you go in there, man, they got schedule you in there, get you a few minutes, get you up out of there, and somebody else coming right behind you all day long. But like I said, with that Saturday, man, I don't see it being a problem really getting clients, man, at all. Because nobody's doing it. What'll end up happening, we'll start a trend to where everybody's doing it in order to compete.
Right.
That's what end up happening.
That's definitely what happened.
Yeah.
Within a year. Anyone noted that? Definitely. That's how everything starts. That's how loan terms get changed from lenders and opportunities. Once one lender stops doing something, they look at each other like, wait a second.
Yeah, man. What we need to do?
What we doing to, you know? But it can go back and forth though. It goes both ways, you know, with that.
So we're talking about $250,000, right? It's ways to raise that money, man, or leverage that, right? In a way. Let's say we was able to come up with 100, right? We can probably quickly find an investor who's willing to put up the other half and put it into the side or whatever, just in case we need it or whatever, by giving them a portion of what we got going on, right? So it's something that can be done when it comes to that. But now it's about that raising that 100K.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We could definitely do that, man. That's something I would do. If I see, okay, you guys got a niche, you got going on, right? You guys are actually investing in yourself. You're actually closing deals, which means if you're doing something in this Dallas area where we live at or whatever the case is, or where we do our thing at, we're going to have at least your deals coming through here. We streamline this thing, right? We ain't got to have a whole bunch of people working for you. We streamline it, and we open on Saturday. We got our niche, man. We got our money backed up. Let's go, guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Give that person some upside, you know, because he putting the money up. And let's go. We got skin in the game with 100K already. So we ain't playing. We ain't just saying, give me the money and hope it works. We invest in money too. So we got something to lose as well. I don't see that being an issue.
You got to also partner with the I mean, I don't know, you got to partner or at least hire the correct professionals, because like
that's important. Anything that you do,
like you said, why is it important to hire a great underwriter? I didn't even see that, but that's exactly
very important.
The key things: the underwriter, the attorneys,
even the researcher, right? Even the researcher, because if the researcher mess around and he missed something, we held reliable for it, right?
Yeah.
So we got to make sure that they're taken care of as well.
All right, I'm going to say this.
Okay.
Been sitting here kind of saying, should I say this? You guys all working too hard.
Okay.
Because you guys just mentioned something for me. This is Cody now, okay? At this stage of my career, my life, I want to be the investor. You guys go out and do all that sort of stuff. That's fine. You got energy for it. I just want to be the investor. Here's my $100,000. I want 9% back on an annual basis.
There it is.
There it is. That's what I want to do.
There it is.
All I want to do. So I say that somewhat tongue in cheek, because again, it goes back to you to figuring out, do you want to be what's called an enterprise company, which building a title company is an enterprise company. You've got to get the staff, you got to have the telephones, you got to have the computers, the printers, hire an underwriter, all that sort of stuff? Or do you want to build a lifestyle company where you're just living off your passive income and you can do what you want, when you want, however you want to do it? So that's the difference that all four of us have to make, plus everybody else that's on this call, is what level of investor do they want to be? And if we all go back to Robert Kiyosaki's, his book that he talked about, the cash flow quadrant, where do you want to be on that cash flow quadrant? I'm slowly moving to the I. That's what all I want to do anymore. That way I can talk on these calls with you guys every other Wednesday afternoon and be the investor on it. Now, I know an attorney in Florida who within the last 12 months has started up her own title insurance company. She has a little edge because she's already a licensed attorney, and she did this to supplement her law firm. And it was exhausting. It was a big lift. You do have to hire all those people, but at her stage of her career, this is what she wanted to do. She wanted to develop an enterprise company. So that's, to me, a big decision before you even start talking about underwriters or locations, brick and mortars, and all this sort of stuff. What side of that quadrant do you want to be on?
See, that's a great point. That's a great point. Right
That is a
now,
great point.
on some things, I want to be the investor in this particular situation because I want to make sure I'm doing the cash register right now. I want to see the whole process, and eventually, I would like to be where he's at. Right now, I'm willing to work and shovel the snow, whatever I got to do right now to get it up and running. You know what I'm saying? So, but we need people like your mindset. There's a lot of people out there will loan you the money at 9%. 10% or whatever the case is, and be happy to do it as long as you can show them, look, this is what we projecting, this is what it's gonna be like, this is what we got coming in right now, here's a niche, this is what we got going on, and this is what the projection is for the next 6 months to a year, whatever the case is. And some will say no, some will say yeah, but it's definitely doable. And then let's say we have I know Cody gonna be let's say money investor in this situation. We got Jason as well, so four of us maybe working in this building or whatever the case is, doing the stuff that needs to be done right now until we get to the point where we can hire people. It shouldn't be hard to do.
No, I don't think
it shouldn't be hard to do.
I think I have some money guys too that's willing to invest in my projects, but I can tell them, listen, and I've told them this before, like, listen, any deal that I've gotten that I feel like I want to be involved with, take. I don't want an assignment fee. I want to be a part of the deal.
Equity position.
I want to be part of the deal. I don't care about the whatever the assignment fee. I want to be part of the deal because I see something I see something bigger than what that assignment fee is going to bring, right? So again, I got guys that are willing to definitely help, be an equity partner to be able to visualize whatever it is I want to do because I have the bigger picture visually, right? So yeah, that I can definitely bring to the table. So yeah,
it is, man. Have you guys ever seen a satellite title company? Or do they have those out?
satellite.
Like a mortgage company. Like when I was in the mortgage business, was a few years. They had satellite mortgage companies, so when you didn't have to have like a brick and mortar place, basically you just did everything online. But I know it's a lot of pitfalls that you can run across just doing that because you got a lot of people out there scamming people and all kind of stuff, right? Especially with this real estate stuff. So that may be a thing you may not want to do. I don't know. But
Well,
I just thought about
if you had the network security to do that, because
exactly.
you have the DocuSigns and electronic signatures are all legal now, pretty much across the country. We now have the ability. There's legislation all over the country as far as having mobile notaries, all this sort of stuff. So in essence, you can create a virtual title insurance and escrow company. I think you can do it, Jay, and I think that would almost be a better way to do a lot of different things rather than actually have people come to you. We talked about earlier in this conversation how you can be different than everybody else. We talked about being open on Saturdays for signings, but what if rather they had to come to you to sign? you offered them an online resource so that you could sit in your office, they could be in their home and do it all electronically, and nobody has to go anywhere.
Especially with COVID on the rise. Let's say the husband is in some, you know, overseas or whatever the case is.
Sure.
He still can, like, that's what I do. I can close properties, like closing or whatever the case is. That person can be remote. I got, you know, DocuSign, go on these documents on this sheet, and I do everything right then and there.
Sure, with the
Until you
certificate
have to be there.
part of that. I mean, I think it's all. I think
That's huge, man. That's a
Jay,
huge.
if you
That's
find
a
the
good
right
deal.
attorney,
Yeah.
you could just, between the two of you guys who can hook up with an underwriter, I think you could find and develop a total virtual title company. Yeah, I think you could do it.
I agree.
Yeah.
And that way we ain't got to pay rent. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You have to pay rent.
Just your domain name. Yeah. Yeah.
And you can live where you're at. Wherever you look, where you're at right now, we can do everything. As long as you got it secured, we good to go, bro.
Yep.
That's huge, man. That's huge right there.
It'd be very huge. We're gonna watch you do it, Jay. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna hold your feet to the fire, okay?
But listen, my thing, see how my mind work is so out there. But I was like, man, and I get to thinking about stuff. And I said, okay, let's mine this together. And this information right here, this is something that can be done. Right. We got people that's right now that's looking at this. They might take our idea, guys. So, so yeah, it can be done, man. Absolutely.
Well, there's plenty of room for all those guys.
There's plenty of money for everybody, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right, Jerell.
I agree.
Jerell, that's.
I don't gotta be first. I just gotta make a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's it. That's how I feel about it. I don't have to be the first idea.
So okay. So that being said, so we have a satellite office or whatever the case is. I'm used to calling it a satellite office for some reason, man. So how do we deal with the wire fraud? I know we kind of touched on that. So the fraud, right? Like you say, we got to make sure we secure lines. Though, what are some other things that we have to look out for? Because this can be our biggest threat. This can shut us down if we don't make sure we take care of this. What's some things that we can do to kind of help with that?
I think a lot of the wire fraud starts or happens because verification, lack of verification. When you go do, I send in my wiring instructions. It's kind of like a hit and miss with the closing attorneys or title agents that are going to call me and verify my account numbers that I sent to them. And then half of them don't. And, either respond and say, yeah, we can wire, we can't wire or whatever, but they don't do that verification call. I think that's one of the things that kind of shields, that definitely would help shield that. Just get in contact with them verbally.
Yeah, great verification process. I think a lot of title companies, because they're overwhelmed, a lot of them are overwhelmed.
Yeah.
They miss that most important part, right? And some of them they try to skip steps and they try to go around certain things. But again, I think a great verification is definitely that, like, super secure. Jerell hit it on the nose with that, that verification.
Yeah. And it's software out here that you can actually use, that we use as well. But here's the thing. I know we kind of touched on this. I think Kobe kind of touched on this a little bit, but the mobile notary guy. So let's say if that person, let's say the husband, he's in Ohio, the wife is in California, whatever the case is. You can quickly go online and pull up mobile notary in that particular area that sign up with a particular company, right? So that you can verify the company is legit, and they verify to make sure that person's legit, and then send that over to them and say, we'll pay this person X amount of dollars to go by this person and do a closing on him.
Yeah.
Right. And then that person must overnight that back to us, and within day or two or whatever the case is, and have another notary that's in California do the same thing with her. Right. Yeah. So that notary, when he goes in there, he's verifying the ID. It's a lot of different things that he has to do to verify this person who that he say or she says she is, or whatever the case is, and it's stamped by that notary. Yeah. Saying yes, he is who he say he is, right? Based on his documentation. So that's huge, man.
Yeah,
so, that's huge.
I use mobile notaries to get a seller to sign in the contract.
Yeah,
and they use the ID. The person has to bring an ID, like you said, Jerell. They got to show an ID. I mean, Jay, they have to show an ID. I got everything back. I got even the stamp. I got everything. The email, everything. I paid $45 for it, for her to go out there and put it on the contract, schedule the appointment. So yeah, mobile notaries are actually huge,
Great. They're
and
great, man.
they're huge, and they're being used more
Yes,
now
sir.
than
I
more than
love it.
COVID
Yeah,
opened it
COVID.
up for
Yeah,
us, bro.
yeah, I
It
love
opened
it
it up for us. Yeah, man.
because
Absolutely.
now no one has to live near the actual closing table.
Nope.
You may have the seller who's been gone, you know, and it's really encompassing to get back to Arkansas or to anywhere just to sign a piece of paper. So having someone come to them to fulfill that is clutch.
In their state, in their zip code, come to their job, come to their house, come to
Yeah.
wherever they're located at a time that's convenient for them.
Or
That's
for
huge
you.
right there. It's got to be convenient for them, wherever they at or whatever the case is. That's the service that we provide for them, right?
What I mean is or for the buyer. Excuse me. What I mean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The seller or buyer.
Man, I think we minding this thing out here, man.
You don't have to worry about
we might need to come get that 100K, Cody.
So let's put this in hot. Let's put it. I just thought about how we could put it in
A
what
water
we
use
said
and funds.
and to help, right? So the mobile notary, when you're doing your skip tracing, you finding leads and whatnot, you wholesaling, you don't have to be afraid of finding sellers that aren't in your area, because you can still utilize a mobile notary to get to them. And have that solution already planned out, because it's going to come up. Hey, how am I gonna get to the closing table to sign with you? I'm 80 years old and I don't like to drive no more. I got it. And then this just builds confidence, and also you then solve a problem that they once had with another buyer for their property that wasn't going to use open notary. So
I'm sorry, Jerell.
Go ahead. No, I'm done. You can put that in your tool bag and keep.
I've had a couple issues when I'm dealing with an older person. I'm looking to wholesale their property, and so I send them an email. Of course, they don't know nothing about technology or anything like that. So you get a notary to go by there and get them to sign the documentation, get it sent back to me. That solves the problem, and they want to see it. They want to see it, right? You know what I'm saying? Look, what time will you be there? When they get home, they hit whatever they had to do, got home from church or whatever the case is, and everything laid out right there. And plain English. They go ahead and sign and get them a copy. He take that bad boy and send it right back to me. He actually can fax it to, well, not fax it, but take a picture of it and email it to me right quick while he's sending me the other thing overnight, so I can have the original.
Yeah.
Right. And so a little fee to do that, man, it's worth it. It's well worth it, man. Absolutely. And it's the cost of doing business, bro. So one of the companies that I'm working under is One Notary is a good place. Another notary company as well. So you guys have documents that need to get done. One Notary is pretty good. But just go online and pull up mobile notary services out there, man. It's tons of them out there. Tons of them out there. So I've been kind of getting away from it for a minute, man, because I got too much going on. So I just want to let you guys know you can definitely get that done. And then when I get back under my feet, you can call me. Well, I can get it done for you too. But for me to leave my home, I'm gonna charge you a pretty penny for me to leave my home, though. But yeah, man, it's something we definitely can do, man. Let me see here. What's another one, man? So let's talk about some of the money that you can make as a title company, right? I know we kind of touched on it lightly a little bit. So what are some of the fees that title companies charge, right?
What are some of the administrative fees? Like administrative fees, the fees to, do what they need to do the research, to get the title, to get the binder, right? All those things. So, I mean, you can definitely rack up in fees, right? But again, ethically, right? But there are fees, administrative fees, and things you have to do in order to the paperwork, the reaching out to these different systems to be able to get that information, to go out and talk to the seller and just make sure that everything is pretty much wrapped up in a bow. Those are fees that are associated with the property. I mean, with the service. It's a service, so there's going to be fees.
another thing too. So when you do send that notary out, that money don't come from the title company. He charges that to whoever's buying that property, right? So if it's $100 or whatever the fee is, or whatever the case is, it's being charged to that actual buyer. So he don't lose money in that. You know what I'm saying? So it's so many ways to actually make some money. So what's a couple other ways that we can pick off top of our head as far as fees is concerned?
Well, you're gonna, there's a cost for the title insurance policy, and your underwriter's gonna charge you for that. So for releasing that, there's gonna be a surcharge on top of that. So it could be something like cost plus 20%, cost 25%.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, if there's an escrow involved too, you're gonna get an escrow fee with part of it coming from the buyer and part of it coming from the seller. There's wire fees involved that you could get a little surcharge above that. And as it was said earlier, there's just other administrative fees or document preparation fees. So, I mean, you can fee the heck out of these things if you want to, but you need to be careful that you're not making yourself non-competitive by excessive fees. So, just some things to think about. You can think of a number of different things, especially if they go to your house.
Yeah.
So,
you want to knock yourself out of the box here,
and to record it too, recording fees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those things. So like he said, like Cody was saying, we got to be different, use our service to be able to, one up on the competition that's probably giving out tons of fees that's unnecessary. We can be able to curtail ours to be able to adjust to the investor.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, even from that's a service fee, man, for being open on Saturdays, being able to take care of some different things on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Title companies, people will pay that premium, man.
Yeah.
Right. That could be a huge bread and butter right there, man.
I agree.
So, listen, man. So I think we kind of mine up, way through that deal, man. I think a title company is a great asset, man. I would love to see the behind the scenes with a title company. Just kind of see what goes on,
Let's do it, Jay. Let's do it, Jerell. Let's do it, Coach.
Yeah. Yeah. So listen, man, this has been a good one, man. What you guys think, man?
Yeah. I enjoyed this. This is fun because I think we all got into something that we don't have the utmost expertise in, but every one of us have had our own touch of this, and we were able to bring that, and so we're going to all enjoy watching you grow your online title insurance business because,
you never know.
Because we have challenged you.
Absolutely. I love a good challenge too, man.
I knew that.
If any of you guys want to come on the REI, so I'm just relaunching this REI meetup. It's online. So where I'll be, we'll do like maybe an hour or so where we talk about some different things about real estate. But we're gonna have some people that's on there that does a lot of different things in real estate. So we do it once a month for like an hour and 15 minutes or whatever the case on a Monday evening, and see if we can, grow each other's business, man. So if you guys got time to jump on, if you don't, just at least send somebody that way, man, and let's grow this thing. Right. So I know everybody.
The next one's when? Next one's when?
The next I didn't put it in my phone. I think it's Monday. This Monday coming up.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be this Saturday, but I got some stuff that's going on Saturdays now, man. Just I'll be really kind of pressing. But so Mondays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll jump on there, man, and give some people some games about wholesaling and some different things. But you go on there if you got a deal that you want to pitch, you go in there and pitch a deal. If you got whatever it is, if you're trying to do or whatever, definitely get it out there, man. It's a way to do it.
Yeah, man. I'm there. Monday, I'm there.
Hey, one more thing. So, CJ, SJ, man, I had a guy that hit me up a few moments ago, man, right before we hopped on. And he said, he said Alabama, you got the land, right?
Yeah, I got the land in Alabama. Yep.
He told me he got buyers in Alabama. Is what he told me. So I'm gonna hit you back here. Let me see. This is him right here. So right. I'll go ahead and I'll reach out to him. I'll connect you guys together. Yeah. So
good deal. Good deal.
Get that taken care of for you, bro.
All right.
Any questions from any questions, comments, or anything we missed, guys?
This was fun. I enjoy you guys a lot. So thank you for inviting me on this, and you guys are great.
Man, we appreciate it, man. Let's see if we get the numbers up. Today we was up to about 10 people watching us at one time, man. So we're gonna get these numbers up, man. And I've noticed it's growing. Like we on Twitch, we on Twitter as well, man. About 3 other YouTube pages and 3 other Facebook pages.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's I forgot the name of this one right here that she got it under, man. But yeah, Twitter as well, man. So. And it's a couple other things he got going on. So you may only just see what's on here, but there's other things going on too,
Sure.
man. So we try and get it
good.
out there, man. So one more time, man, tell them how to reach you guys.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Again, I'm Cody Cox, and my email address is cody@bridgecityfactors.com. And again, I'm a note investor, so I love talking to people about investing in promissory notes.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
All right, Jerell coming out of Atlanta. So just hit me up if you need any loans or have any questions about how to get any capital for any real estate investment properties that you're out there in your market. If you're here in Atlanta, I also have contacts for real estate agents, of course, closing attorneys that can help you with transactions. Just hit me up. Any questions? No questions, a dumb question. Okay, so EPI quick loans at gmail.com. I'll see you then.
Yeah. Yeah, Sean Jones, SNJ Property Group, basically based out of New Jersey. I wholesale real estate. I also coach new investors that want to get into real estate or how to be able to navigate that process. So I do one-on-one coaching. So you want to hit me up, go on all my Facebook. My Facebook is SNJ Property Group. All my handles in all social media platforms is SNJ Property Group. But if you do, you can book a session with me. I do strategy sessions for wholesalers who want to scale their business or those who are new to the business and they want to navigate this process. So I'm here as a tool to be able to help you grow in this wholesaling real estate investing arena. Right. One thing I do want to mention real quick regarding title companies is that sometimes you get a property under contract and you quickly send it to the title company without getting a buyer in place. That can cause an issue because if you so happen not to get a buyer, you are still liable to pay the title company their portion of whatever they did as far as their title search goes. You still got to pay that, right? So, is it conducive for you to put the title in prior to you getting the buyer? So it's really a slippery slope. So you want to just make sure that you at least have something in place before going full fledged into the title.
Okay, so one of the things that I do.
That's the wet right there, SJ.
Yes.
Transparency.
Yeah.
Tell the closing attorney exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
In every situation.
Yep.
I'm double closing. I'm wholesaling this.
Yep.
That's the relationship you have to cultivate. Without that, then you have to, now if it's like if you're doing like out of state and all that, then you're not going to really be dealing with closing attorneys that you may be able to cultivate a relationship with. But that's a great point you brought up, SJ. That's a great point.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's important also to have your buyer before
in
you
place.
have a contract.
Yeah.
And that eliminates all that uncertainty in that regards, because you don't want to get charged a cancellation fee, as Sean talks about there. Yep. I think it's important if you have your buyer and you have your stable of buyers in advance. Most successful wholesalers that I've ever known, have 5 or 6 buyers that they have already at their disposal. So once they get a contract, it's already gone.
Right. So once they do that, search, they know they'll get paid at closing. But you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're scrambling for a buyer and you can't find one because either you priced it too high or you didn't do your due diligence, and then all of a sudden now it's already the title searches is already, you got the binder back. You are obligated to pay that fee. With you just can't leave the title company high and dry. Okay, so again, you just got to make sure that you have things in place.
Yeah, like that's a whole nother podcast session. Like the importance of
You're exactly right. It is.
Because it applies to even loans. Like, of course, when I get like the bomb deal on loan program or loan rates, I'm going to make sure my buyers that always buy properties know that, hey, you qualify for this now, or with this, or their new update. That's the same way. Like, you just have to cultivate that buyers list along with your relationships with your local or preferred closing attorney.
Yeah. A quick side note too. So if you're a new wholesaler and this is your first deal, and maybe you don't have money, up front to pay the title company to get that done, man. So I will reach out to that title company and just let them know. Say, hey, man, do you guys get paid at closing? That's a question that you may want to ask them, because if they want it up front right in there, you may not be able to go to that title company. So this is in conjunction to what SJ is saying, though. I definitely agree with what you're saying. Absolutely.
Right, because
I definitely agree with what you're saying.
Even if they get paid at closing, and you don't have a buyer,
I agree.
You still are obligated, or you are still obligated to pay that title search. They've done a service to you, and it's their job, is your responsibility, if you don't have a buyer, to pay that fee. Now, some fees are small to do title searches, but again, you don't want to leave your title company high and dry. That's not how you do business. Agree. You do not want to do business that way.
100% agree. That makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. So let me shout out a couple of guys. We missed a couple of team members today, man. Mr. Lenny from Wholesaling with Lenny podcast, man. I think he'll do it tomorrow, man. So, what's up, Lenny? He just hit me up, man. He said he'll catch us next week, man. And also Jason Sims, man. Great guys, man. We miss you guys today, bro. We'll see y'all hopefully in the next 2 weeks, man. So also with me, if you got a commercial deal, you want a JV her deal, let's get it done. We're looking for 50 units and under. Has to be at least 50% occupied. I'm looking around about an 8 to 9, 10 cap, somewhere right up in there. And let's get it done, man. Send it over to me, man. Send me everything that you have. Give me a call, 972-836-9814. Hit me in the DM. Send a kite, send a pigeon, whatever you need to do to get in contact with me. Let's make it happen. You know what I'm saying? It's off and running, man. Hey, man, salute you guys, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's go kill it. I'll tie you in with this guy, man. Hopefully you get that land sold for you. How many acres is it, bro?
Oh, it's less than an acre. It's a residential lot.
Okay, cool.
The house is a tear down, so so it's a residential lot, less than an acre. But it's definitely good for a nice single family.
Okay, excellent. Right. Mr. Cody, did you get that property sold in Flint?
Actually, I've got a little. It's funny you would say. I've got a little title issue on it. So we're going through a process where we're going to go through a quiet title. I have my attorney working on that, and once we have that done, we'll be able to sell it. But that's the only thing that's holding us up. I've got a realtor up there. I've got a title insurance company up there. We're just getting this blemish on the title removed, and then I'm ready to go.
Okay, cool. Now, if one more thing too, so if you guys know anybody who have a service has something to do with real estate, that want to get on here and tell us what they do, maybe you can add some value to what we got going on, maybe interview them or something like that. Tell them to come on, man. Let's talk to them.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, man. Salute to you guys again, man. Appreciate you guys, and let's go kill the rest of the week.
Let's go.
All right.
Salute.
See you, gentlemen.